Hi there, Mr. Holcomb here with another episode of The Math Behind the Modules. Okay, this is chapter 3.6, credit card statements. So chapter 3.5 was about credit cards. Now we're talking about the statements of credit cards. And the objective for this lesson is to identify and use the various entries in a credit card statement. There is a ton of vocabulary in this lesson. It's going to take me a couple of minutes just to go over these. Billing cycle for the first vocabulary word. A billing cycle is a predetermined amount of time set by the credit card company that is used for calculating your credit card bill. So the cycle is the length of time in a month or a full month usually. But if you are a young college student and you're getting your first card, their billing cycles may be shorter, like 21 days, 3 weeks, just so that you aren't extending out too far, okay, to catch problems before they occur. All right, so a credit card statement is just simply that. You get a statement at the end of the month that determines how much you owe, what the interest rate is. It tells you what the interest rate is, how much you charged, how much was carried over if you didn't pay your account off the month before. All that information comes in the credit card statement. These days, most people don't wait for the statement to come out. You can always go online and look at your credit card company's website and your account on their site, and to determine what your statement balance is at any given time. Okay, account number. The account number obviously is just that. It's a credit card account, has a unique number. But what most people do not know about credit card numbers is the first digit tells you what kind of card it is. I always kind of chuckle when I go to, let's say, a hotel and you're checking in and they'll say credit card number, and I'll say 4253614, and they'll say, what kind of credit card is that? Well, I already told you, because 4 is Visa. Any credit card, every credit card starts with a particular number. So American Express starts with 3, Visa starts with 4, MasterCard starts with 5, and Discover starts with 6, just for example. So you can tell what kind of credit card it is just by looking at the first digit of the account number. All right, a credit line is the maximum amount you can owe at any time. That's a credit line. If I have a credit limit of $5,000, that's my credit line, $5,000, I can't go over. Available credit is the difference between your credit line and how much you charged, and the available credit left that will be, if you charge that much, would get you to your credit limit. A billing date is the date the bill or the statement was written. The payment due date is the date that the payment must be received by the creditor, or you pay a late fee. Okay, transactions. It's a list where purchases were made and the date. Those are all the transactions. Some companies use the date posted, which indicates when the creditor received its notification of the charge and processed it. Some companies list the date of the transaction that actually occurred in the store. So if there's a 2-day delay, there might be a difference of a day or two between when you purchased it and when it hit your account. Okay, so that's transactions. A debit and a credit. A debit is the amount charged to your account. A credit is a payment or a return. Okay, previous balance is a balance that you carried over from a previous month if you didn't pay it off in full. Payments and credits are total amounts received by the creditor. New purchases are the purchases within the current month, and that would be the sum of the purchases on the current bill. So if you are someone who pays your account off every month, that's all you have are new purchases. You never have a previous balance. All your purchases are new purchases because you pay them off at the end of the month. And a late charge just means that you are not only paying interest on your credit card, but if you do not pay your credit card payment by the billing or by the payment due date, they will charge you a late fee. And sometimes it can be pretty steep. That's just like taking a $50 bill and lighting it on fire. Okay, throw it away. All right, finance charge is the cost of using the credit card for the current billing period if it's not paid off in full. In other words, that's the monthly interest rate. Okay. New balance is the amount you currently owe. So what they do is they take everything, they take your previous balance, subtract what you paid in a payment, add all your new charges, accrue the interest, and that would be your new balance. They always set a minimum payment. So you could owe $1,000 on your card and they could tell you, well, your minimum payment is $79. So if things are tight and you only pay the 79, that prevents you from paying a finance charge or late charge, but your finance charges will start to accumulate because you aren't paying it off. Okay, so let's see, minimum payment, average daily balance. The average daily balance is simply taking how many days, we did it in the last lesson, how many days you carry a balance and you multiply them. So if I carried a balance of $2,300 for 5 days, I take 5 times 2,300, and then I made a $100 purchase, and now it's 2,400, and I didn't buy any more for 6 days, so it's 2,400 for 6 days, and so on and so on. Multiply the number of days it was at that balance times the balance, add them all up, divide by how many days are in that month, and multiply by your monthly interest rate. And that will give you, actually, your average daily balance is the amount before multiplying by the interest rate. Okay, so it's just all those days times the interest, or not the interest, but the balance on those days, added up and divided by the number of days in the month. And number of days in a billing cycle, they're usually just go from calendar date to calendar date. I think my credit cards are always due on like the 9th. So unless it's a weekend, so a number of days in a billing cycle, and then the cycles usually end, I think, around the 12th for me. So when I hit the 12th, if I charge something on the 13th, it's on the new bill, and I actually can wait a month and a half before I have to pay it. And that's another little trick with credit cards. If you wait till after your billing cycle starts over, you can prolong paying for something without interest. And the monthly periodic rate I've already discussed. That is taking the annual periodic rate, APR, annual percentage rate, and divide it by 12. And that's your annual periodic, or your monthly periodic rate. Okay, so there's all the vocabulary. Whew. Okay, example 1, the summary portion of Jane Sharp's credit card statement shown on the previous page looks as follows. So this is just a clip from the previous page. And I'm just going to toggle between these two here. Let's click there, make it green for positive and red for negative. All right, so it says the summary portion of Jane Sharp's credit card statement shown on the previous page looks like this. A, explain how the new purchase amount was determined. Okay, so we have to look at this table that they gave us, and the new purchase amount, okay, was all of her purchases. On January 2nd, she went to a gift shop, Candida's gift shop, and she spent $75. Actually, let me do it in red because its spending is a debit, and that's red. She spent $75. She went to Pizzas, and she spent $31.85 on January 3rd. On January 5th, she went to Beekman Department Store, spent $139.10. And on January 10th, the Festival Bookstore, she purchased $38.50 worth of products. And then she made a payment of $75. Okay, whoops, let's change that to green. A payment of $75. Okay, so I look at this and I say, Jane, I shake my head. The payment she made covered Candida's gift shop, and that's all. So she's charging pizza, a store, and a book, and paying interest on it. Okay. Anyhow, the new purchases amount was determined by taking these values and adding them up. This plus this plus this plus this minus this, and that should give us 130, 160, 200 some dollars, $284.45. There it is, new purchases. So it was all these charges minus $75, which was her payment. Okay. So those are the new purchases. Actually, no, that's 75 is not included in that. It's just these 4 added up. Yep, that's it. Just the red ones that I circled added up. New purchases are all these in red added up, 284.45. B says, explain how the new balance amount was determined. Now, when I talk about the new balance, you take the previous balance. So let me do this. Let me erase this. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the previous balance, start with $150.50. We're going to subtract $75 because that was our payment, her payment. Then she purchased $284.45. So 150 minus 75 is $75.50 plus that $284. Okay. Plus late charge, which was 0, plus a finance charge, which was $353, equals our new balance. Okay. So it's all these added up. Minimum payment, $20. Okay. So the new balance amount was determined by adding up everything in here and getting this value. Alrighty. Now check your understanding. It says, suppose you create the following spreadsheet that models the statement summary and input the values into row 2. Write a spreadsheet formula to compute the new balance in cell F2. So the new formula would be, well, what are we doing? We're taking the previous balance, which is A2. And we're going to subtract the payment, which is B2. And then we're going to add new purchases, which is C2. And then we're going to add a late charge, which is D2. And then we're going to add a finance charge, which is E2. And that will equal F2, or our new balance. Okay, so it's just A2 minus B2 plus E2 plus D2 plus E2. And that would equal F2. Okay. So this would be the spreadsheet formula in this cell if we did it in a spreadsheet. Okay. Okay, example 2 says Pasquale has a credit limit of $15,000. Okay, so there's the key to this problem. His credit limit is 15 grand. He had a previous balance of $4,598.12. That was his previous balance. Of that, he paid $4,000. So if you subtract $4,000 from his previous balance, he had a balance of $598.12. The new purchases, we then take that $598.12, add new purchases of $1,368.55. Okay, and when I add those, I get 7, 6, 6, 9 and 6 is 15, and 1 is 16, 8, 9, 1, 1,966.67 new purchases. A late charge of $20, so that's going to go onto his account. So we add that, and now we're up to $1,986, and then a finance charge of $5.78, which would have been the interest on the $598.12, I'm assuming. And 8 and 7 is 15, 7 and 6 is 13, and 1 is 14, 6 and 5 is 11, and 1 is 12, 8 and 1 is 9, 9, 1. So I have $1,992.45, and his credit limit is $15,000. So he still has $1,992.45 that he has less. This is how much he owes now. So if we take the credit limit minus what you owe, that is how much you have available credit. So in doing so, we'll do this: 9, 9, 9, 9, 10, 5, 5, 7, 0, 0, 3, 1. So he still has $13,007.55 of available credit. Okay, the check your understanding is pretty straightforward and basic. They didn't make much of give you much of a challenge here. It said Rhonda had a previous balance of $567.91. She made an online one-time credit card payment of $567.91. As you can see, she paid it off. Her balance is now 0. She has a credit line of X dollars and made purchases totaling Y dollars. Write an algebraic expression that represents her current available credit. So if you were to do this and there was a different value, I will show that it would be the previous balance minus the payment. Forgot my one. And obviously this is 0. And then you would add, and then you would take the credit line, you take the credit line X and subtract the amount left over, but in this case it's 0, and the amount you purchased, which is Y. So if you have a balance of 0 and you have a credit limit of X and you charge Y, your remaining available credit is X minus Y. Okay. Okay, example 3, it says Myrna is examining the summary section of her credit card statement. She has checked all the entries on her bill and agrees with everything except the new balance to determine where the error was made. So let's take a closer look at this. Myrna thinks there's an error. All right, so you take the previous balance of $1,748.00. The payment of $100 is going to get this down to $1,648.00. Okay. She made new purchases of $800. So this has to get added. So 0, 0, 8, 4, 4, 2. So now we're at 2,448. And there is going to be a finance charge of $19 and a late charge of $9.15. So if I add $9.15 to this, then I'll get a 517,542. Okay, and I need to move this down a little bit. And then the $19 finance charge. So the shoe is late through a $9.15. 516,742. So I'm at 2,476.15. And this says 2,576.15. So when you subtract the $100 payment, which I've already done right here, her new balance will be 2,476.15. So they have not, it appears that Myrna was not credited for her payment. So under the Fair Credit Billing Act, Myrna must notify her creditor in writing within 60 days from the statement date on her bill in order for them to make that correction. And then they would credit her that $100 plus any interest that would accrue on that $100. Okay. So it's really important to always check your credit card statements. Okay, so now it says check your understanding. Determine the error that was made using the following summary statement. Okay, so we have a previous balance, so it's again doing the same thing. Now let me slide this up here to here, and let me change to blue. Previous balance, $850. Okay. New purchases, 300. Let me do the payment last. New purchases, 300. And that is going to give us a balance of $1,150. Okay. Late charge of $3. Now we're up to 1,153. And a finance charge of $4.78. So now we have 78 cents, 7,511. So now we're up to 1,157.78. Payment was $560. So now I subtract $560 from this balance and I get 871, and that's 9, and that's 5. Okay. Was that right? Payment, how much was the payment? $560. I thought that was a 6. This is a 0. All right, so it's not a 1. Let me just check this again. 8 minus 0 is 8. 7 minus 0 is 7. 7 minus 0 is 7. 15 minus 6 is 9. 10 minus 5 is 5. It is $597.78. This is what the new balance should be. What was the error? Well, how much is it off? Okay, and I'm going to show you a little trick here. So what is the new balance? 507.78. If I take 597.78 and subtract 507.78, then that is going to give me the error difference, and it's $90. Okay, so $90 is divisible by 9. It's a multiple of 9, and if your error is divisible by 9, that's usually a transposing error. Okay, so the payment that was recorded as $560 was probably really $650, or it was recorded as $650, because this is saying that the new balance should be $597.78, and it's only $507.78. So you look for transpose. That's the toughest part of this problem. And knowing that if there is a transposing error, it's a multiple of 9. And for example, 18 and 81. Okay, if I subtract that, I get 3 and 6. And 63 is 9 times 7. So if 9 will go into something evenly, you transpose. It works for any number. 72, 27. 12 minus 7 is 5. 6 minus 2 is 4. 9 times 5 is 45. It's a multiple of 9. Therefore, it's transposed, 2772. Okay, so 560 transposed, it should have been 650, or vice versa. They credited 650 and it should have been 560. All right, so anyway. Hey, I was so into this, I was getting ready to flip the page. There is no page flip. That is the end of chapter 3.6. Thanks for watching and have a great day.